Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm bringing you the deck profile for the deck that you see me play on stream the other day, and it's Ragnaraika Beetrooper. Um, this deck is actually so cool. It is one of the decks that I have the most fun with recently, and I think a lot of people are not giving credit to what this deck can actually perform or can actually put on the field. It's by far not the strongest or not the most broken deck in existence, but it can put some work. And if you saw my stream, saw me climbing pretty easily during platinum from platinum 5 to plat 3. Yeah, we did something like that. So without further ado, let's start with the deck profile. First of all, one button was pin the bullseye. This is just an extender, nothing more to say. Ragnaraika was it. The Raka card are the thing that allow this deck to actually finally have a payoff and have a way to play through an interruption. So what it was it does is that if this card is in your hand, you can descend one insect, plant, or reptile monster from your hand to the graveyard and special summon this card. Also, when this card is normal or special summoned, you can add two Ragnaraka card from deck or banish to your hand, and then banish a card from your hand. This is important, the fact that you get to add back stuff from your banish, because there are some times where maybe you banish the trap after you activate the effect, and so you can get it back in the grind. It doesn't come up that much, but it's nice to have this. Raika at its core is a fair archetype, and having something that is actually not that fair is good. Then free Maxi. We need to talk about Maxi later because this deck can actually use Maxi in a cool way. But yeah, we are in Master Duel. Let's play free Maxi. Fierce Blossom, Maxi exists. We need to win the minigame. One Gokipole. You don't need more than one because Gokipole is probably one of your few hard ones per turn in the deck. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a level 4 insect from your deck to your hand. And if you added a normal monster, you can do things. But as you can see, we are not running a normal monster. We don't need more bricks in this deck. But if you wanna run an insect monster, probably the best target would be this insect level 4 normal. I don't remember the name because it's monster that only the OCG got, and it's this one. So if you want to run a target for Gokipole, you need to run Kamakiri Man because it's the lowest attack insect level 4 that we have at our disposal. Because the other target that are Killer Nido or Gokipole are 1200, while this is 1150. So yeah, if you want to run something, you need to run a Kamakiri Man, but you don't need to run another brick. So later, one free Beetrooper Skill Bomber. Skill Bomber is your main extender. You want to see Skill Bomber because having Skill Bomber on your hand allows you to dump something different with Resonance Insect, so you are not focused, needed to just do that part, do Resonance effect to dump a Skill Bomber, so you can add it back. If you already are opening it, it's perfect. And also, having this card in your hand, in your opening hand, and maybe having something like Retaliating Sea or Sting Lancer allows you to have an interruption during your opponent turn on turn 0. So I think it's still good. It's a cool card. One Ragnaraika Samurai Bito. It's one of your target for Evo Seed. You This card is way better even in a vacuum than I thought it was, especially by the fact that you banish a lot, you cross out exists, so you can cross out for Maxi and then putting back your Maxi to special summon Samurai Bito. That happened on stream, and that's not something unironically that you can do. So yeah, this card is pretty good. It's kind of a brick sometimes, but you want to run it because it's your best way to extend. Same thing for praying mantis. When this guy, we don't talk about the other effect. The only effect that we need is the last one. You can banish this card from your graveyard, especially summon one baby mantis token, which is an insect level 1 win 500 500. And this allows you just to extend. It's just another body on the field. You need bodies. You need bodies in this deck. It's kind of a brick opening this card, but if you open Ragnaraika with Seed plus Primantis, you're kind of okay. It's not that bad a situation, and you can always dump this card with the Resonance Insect. So why not? It's pretty good. Germantis, it's another extender. It's a level 4, so you can search it for with Gokipo, and you can just play it for free by paying 1000 life points. So pretty good. Let's play this card. Resonance Insect, the next two cards are incredible. The fact that the Resonance Insect, it's not a hard once per turn, it's crazy. Because having this card gives you access to so many insects, to so many recovery. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a level 5 or higher insect monster from your deck. Mostly your first search will be Light Flapper, because it's important for the combo, but if you already have a Light Flapper, you can add Doomdozer and just keep extending at that point. And the second effect is that when it's banished in any way, it just needs to be banished, you can send one insect monster from your deck to the graveyard, except the Resonance Insect. What this means is that if you open Evil Seed and Resonance Insect and maybe another insect or something, you can summon Evil Seed, banish Resonance Insect effect to dump a Gokipo. Gokipo triggers to give you Retaliating Sea, and you can start going on at that point. You have so many bodies that you can do whatever you want with this deck. Speaking of which, let's talk about Retaliating Sea, because this card is stupid. I Here in Master Duel, this card is stupid. The effect that to special summon itself when an opponent activates a spell that includes the effect to special summon a monster, it doesn't come up that much because there are not a lot of spells that do that right now. Mainly the one are Branded Fusion, the Runic spell, which is good when you do this against a Runic player because every older spell will get banished, but it doesn't come up that much. The reason why we are playing a free copy of this card is just for consistency, because when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Earth Insect monster with 5,000, no, 1,500 attack or less from your deck to your hand. And this is not once per turn. So what this means is that by normal summoning Retaliating Sea and having one of your extender, you can just add Resonance Insect, maybe you can reborn Retaliating Sea, and during the combo you can get Maxi, because Maxi is an insect monster with less than 1500 attack, and you keep searching, you keep having everything on your field. Everything from your deck to your hand, you can select all the cards that you want. Really, the quality of cards are pretty impressive when you start thinking about what they actually are. Because the fact that Resonance Insect and Retaliating Sea are not once per turn is incredible. It's incredible. It gives you so many resources that most deck would love to have. Then one Assault Roller. This is a bit just for being a Beetrooper name, and it's an extender. Light Flapper, underrated card. I love this card. Shout out to the one guy in the Ragnaraika server to let me know about this card because I didn't know about that. So what this card does is that when it's normal special summoned, you can target two Beetrooper monster with different name that are in the banish or in your graveyard and add it from your hand. But you can activate the effect during the turn that you add it back, which is not a problem because usually what you get back are Skill Bomber and Stingless, so you're set up for the next turn. And then it has another effect that when your opponent they can attack, you can return this card to your hand and negate an attack that sometimes can come up. I do. I would say that sometimes can come up. Not all the time because usually you link away this card, but it can come up. One Sting Lesser, this is part of your main combo line. Um, during the main phase, quick effect, you can target one insect monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard, and place them in the bottom of the respective decks and special summon this card. So this is a graveyard hate, which is always good in my book. And when this card is normal special summoned, you can add a Beetrooper spell trap from your deck. You almost never want to use this card for the first effect during your turn, especially. You want to special summon this card to access a Beetrooper spell trap. You will see later in the replay. One Doom Dozer, extender. You want to run Doom Dozer up until there are better things to do with your level in the level 6 or higher, 5 or higher insect pool. Beargram, great card. I really like this card. You can special summon this card by banishing 3 insect or plant monster from your hand or graveyard. Which, look, Evil Seed is a plant monster, so it goes perfectly with this. And your opponent cannot activate effect of in response to your spell trap card activation, which is not bad because sometimes if they have something on the field they can't respond to your Imperm, to your Ragnaraika Hunting Dance, to your Beetrooper Flying Sting. So sometimes it come up, and the other effect is that the Whisper Turn during your main phase you can destroy all monster on the field except insect and plant monster, but this card cannot attack directly, which is fine. Which is fine. Mostly you want to use this card as a XYZ material because it's a level 9 and you can make a Periton, which this come up. But the fact that this card exists allows you to play around the Miru. As soon as this card is the graveyard, if your opponent decides to Nibiru at any point of the combo except during the last one, you can just special summon back Beargram, board wipe everything, and keep playing from that point on. So pretty good. One Nibiru, because this deck has a couple of issues playing around Nibiru, so I wanted to run a target for cross out. Foolish Burial, because we can send Gokipo and add one of our starters, so pretty good. One for one, Ragnaraka Evil Seed is a level 1. I don't want to say more. Prosperity, this deck at its core is a 2-card combo, so you need to have a little bit of consistency. Usually you just banish everything that it's not a plant and one copy of Picofalina because you don't need the... sorry, everything that it's not an insect and one copy of Picofalina because maybe you don't need a second one. Landing, it's part of the combo. This is the Beetrooper fusion spell, and we actually need this card to keep performing our combo correctly. Ragnaraka Bloom, crazy card. I adore this card. First, insect plant erectile monster on the field gain 300 attack and defense, and all other monsters on the field lose 300 attack and defense, which is a pretty good boost. Seems underwhelming, but it's a pretty good boost. And whisper to the main phase, you can or add Ragnaraka from your deck to your hand and discard a card, or special summon one Ragnaraka monster from your hand, graveyard, or banishment in the first position. So, extender, grind, weaken the field, and pumps yours. Great card. Called by Maxi Exist, Curse Out, Maxi Exist. Maxi exist and trap in general exist. Infinite impermanence, we wanna have a more entrap, so we are just on 10 entrap in total. I think it's fine right now. One Ragnaraka Hunting Dance, your main target search with Mantis Monk. You can target monster your opponent control up to the number of different monster type among link monster you control that are insect, plant, or reptile and destroy them. So usually you can pop one card because your combo only ends on one insect link, or choose sometimes when you can end with even skeletal soldier on the field, but it doesn't come up that much. Usually you pop one. And the second effect is that if face-up insect plant or reptile monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, target one monster on your opponent control, and destroy it. What can I say more? Just keep banishing, keep destroying, is an interruption, pretty good card. And lastly, Beetrooper Flying Sting. This is needed because it's part of your end board. When your opponent activates a monster effect where you control a Beetrooper monster, you can negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. So straight up counter monster negate, which is always good. And during your end phase, if this card was in your graveyard and you control an insect monster with 3000 attack or more, you can banish one insect monster from your graveyard and set this card. So this card keeps setting, and I don't want to say this, but look, Stag Sovereign is a 3300 attack, so you always have a 3000 attack monster on your field to keep setting Fly and Sting. And by the fact that you can special summon Stingless and the Scale Bomber during your opponent turn, this card is live, so pretty good. Okay, this was for the main deck. Let's talk about the extra deck. One crit Saturnus, this card is needed for the combo, obviously. One Beetrooper monster and one insect monster. You can special summon monster except insect monster as long as this card is face up on the field. Most Beetrooper link as disclosed, so I will not read it moving forward. If this card is special summon, you can add a Beetrooper card from your deck to your hand, so you can add your Flying Sting, or if you already have Flying Sting, you can add your Assault Roller. And most importantly, if an insect monster is banished face up, except during a damage step, you can target one of your banished Beetrooper monster and special summon it. What this means is that during the combo, we can banish our Light Flapper and special summon back Light Flapper so we can trigger it and add back the resource from our banished or our graveyard. Amazing card. The line come up extremely fast, extremely consistency, so cool. One ultimate crit insect. You need this card. This is our link one. If you buy a link one, we have our link one in the form of a fusion monster. Must be fusion or fusion summoned, which sometimes happen to have a level 8 monster, insect monster plus a level 7 insect monster, but you never want to fusion summon this card. You want to special summon with this effect, which is you can special summon from the extra deck by tributing one insect monster with 2000 or more defense equipped with an equip card. The way that we equip something is with Picofalina. So we always have a way to special summon ultimate get insect. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and once per turn during the battle phase, if a face-up card is on the field, you can quick effect destroy your monster your opponent control. So this is a quick play Raigeki. It comes up quite a lot because there are a lot of fish spell in this format, so it comes up quite a lot. But the most important fact is that this is a level 9, and this means that this card plus Beargram can make you suck 3 Beast Hyperiton, and Hyperiton is kinda key right now because this deck doesn't have a real way to deal with the spells. So having a Hyperiton means that you have a spell negate. If you don't know what this does, during your turn when you activate a card or effect, you can attach the respective type from your graveyard. So if you activate a spell, you can attach a spell to this card, and during your opponent turn, you can quick effect the attachment material of the same type of a card that your opponent is activating and negate that. So if your opponent activates a spell, you can detach a spell to negate a spell. If they activate a monster, you can detach a monster to negate a monster. It's important. This is the only way to deal with spells, and this deck is kind of weak to board breakers sometimes, so you just want to have that spell negate. Typhoon, we have some empty space. We can run Typhoon. And Mirage, it's needed sometimes for some combos because you can, if you start with Assault Roller plus Insect Resonance Insect, you can just normal Reso, link for Almirage, add something from your deck depending on your end. banish Resonance Insect, special summoning Assault Roller, dump Gokipo, and moving forward from that point. So yeah, sometimes he come up. I would like to have a Link 1 insect monster, but it doesn't exist for now. Please, Konami, print a Link 1 insect monster. I need it. Two Pick of Arena, you wanna have two because this card is so good in the grind game. When this card is Link summoned, you can discard one card from your and target one on your other insect monster, and you keep one insect monster from the deck to that. And you keep the monster gain 500 attack and defense, which it doesn't come up that much, but it's a good thing. And during your turn, you can target a free insect monster in your graveyard, shuffle it back to the deck, and draw one card. So you get a lot of recovery for this card. Beetrooper Armor Horn, during your main phase, you can immediately after discard Reflector Solve, you can normal summon one insect monster more. So you can just keep extending. Maybe you started with Retaliating C and one extender, you make Armored Horn, search for Retaliating C, and you're gonna search for Resonance Insect. Effect of Armored Horn, you special summon, no, you normal summon Resonance Insect, and you leak away so you get another search. Also, you can banish a free, if it's carried in your graveyard, you can banish free insect monster from your graveyard and special summon this card, but banish it when you leave the field. This card gives you everything that you want. Everything. Expect this second effect is extremely important during the combo. You will see in the replay. One Little Knight, why not? We have some empty spaces, so why not playing Little Knight? It kinda never come up, but you prefer having Little Knight than not having Little Knight. One Skeletal Soldier is needed for the combo when you start with Evil Seed. Also, this card can bring back a body on the field, so you can have more bodies to link away. Good card. It's a plant, unfortunately, like Evil Seed is, so you need to do a lot of tricks because a lot of your link monster requires precisely insect, but luckily the Ragnaraika insect requires everything on the tree type, so you can do some cool interaction with that. One tactics, Tactics Atipus. This card is extremely important. I can't stress you enough how this card is important. This card can basically bore blank all your opponent field, because if you don't know, that is most again 1000 when you have a normal trap in your graveyard. This is not useful that much at least, but once per turn you can target face-up cards on the field on your opponent control up to the number of insect, plant, and plant monster you control, and negate their effect. So maybe you have a 4 or 5 insect on your field, and with Atipus you can negate 4 or 5 cards on your opponent's field. This card is so important because you have a lot of issue with the cards like Floodgates, with maybe some something that triggers in a particular situation. Changing, it's a really bad card for you because you don't have a real way to deal with that, and with Atipus you now have it. So you need to run Atipus. This card is important to win some matchups. In one of the replay, I think I negated God Sarcophagus, so I could just board wipe everything and win from that point on. So pretty good. One Ragnaraika Mantis Monk, which is royal. Thank you, game. At least I got a royal. So you can banish two insect or plant or reptile monster from your graveyard and add one Ragnaraika trap from your deck, and which the only target is Hunting Death. And when this card is in the graveyard, you can target one insect or plant or reptile monster you control to special summon this card back. This card is what the release of this card, especially by the fact that this card banished two monster from your graveyard, allowed this deck to finally work. Because you can finally dump Resonance Insect to get your trap, triggering Resonance Insect, sending Gokipol, adding Admantis or adding something else, and keep link climbing from that point on. This card was needed, and unfortunately, I'm actually thinking about playing the second Hunting Dance because It's so important for some line that you need to banish 2 cards from your graveyard to keep extending that I'm actually thinking about playing the second Until Death. Once Ragnaraika Snapper, this is your back row removal. You can banish 2 monsters in your graveyard, then target that many spell trap your opponent control and destroy them. Why not? Back row removal, I like it. One Invisible Atlas, okay. So, as long as this card has a 3000 attack or less, cannot be destroyed by opponent. The opponent cannot target this card with the card effect. It cannot be destroyed by opponent card effect. Sadly, since we are on Ragnaraka Bloom, Atlas became a 3300, so it's not protected anymore by itself, by its effect. But we are not playing this card for that effect. We are playing this card precisely for the first effect, this second effect. You can tribute one insect monster to activate one of the following effect, which is special summon one Beetrooper monster from your deck. So you want to special summon, we want to link up to Invisible Atlas to tribute itself to special summon one Sting Lancer from your deck. Sting Lancer triggers and give you the field spell and the infusion spell, and then you can keep going from that point on. Lastly, Ragnaraika Stack Sovereign. This is your main boss monster. When your opponent special summon a monster from your deck, from the deck or the extra deck, you can destroy 2 cards on the field, which doesn't seem that much, but it came up. It came up. Remember that this card is mandatory to destroy 2, so sometimes you need to pop one of yours, but it's fine because since it's a Ragnaraka link, it can come back. Okay, so this is everything for the main deck. I wanna hop on some replays, so stay with me, and we see you in a little bit. So here we are with some replay. This happened on last week's stream, and it was against I don't remember what was my opponent on, but I think he scooped after that. So we are going first, and we are okay. Stop, and let's talk a little bit about this end. This end is extremely good because you have a way to stop your opponent Ash Blossom if they decided to negate 1 for 1, which is pretty plausible. Usually you want to negate 1 for 1 when you see it because they can just bring a lot of their starter on. So I decided to start with this instead of going into the standard combo with Resonance Insect and an extender. I have to say I didn't need to do it because by itself Resonance Insect plus one generic extender is full combo. But I decided to go this route because having the access to the Ragnaraika engine gives you so much recovery. So let's continue. So pitch spin because Resonance Insect is much more important. Effect, you can add Bloom and add some repeater. This is what I said. You can banish Resonance Insect, so Resonance Insect triggers, and you can send Gokipol to the graveyard, and by that you can add Rotating Sea. So as you can see, we now have 2 insect bodies on the graveyard, which is really important for the combo during the turn. Now, it's important this. Let me pause. I decided to go with first. Usually, you want to link Ragnaraka Samoribito with Evo Seed. In this situation, you don't want to do that. You always want to link away. Always, or obviously, Samoribito and Retaliating Sea, because with the effect of Samoribito, you can special summon back Retaliating Sea and having an additional search. So, effect. Samurai Beetle triggers with special summon back Retaliating Sea search and search for your copy of Resonance Insect. Now we can special summon back Beetle, link away for Armored Horn, effect of latency C, and adding Maxi. So this is why I told you this deck is so cool. You have a real consistent way to search for your own Maxi, which is pretty good on my book. So now we extra normal summon Sense Insect, we link away for Mantis Monk, and link away for Invisible Atas. I decided to wait a little bit for activating Mantis Monk effect because I want to being able to banish Resonance Insect later during the combo. So now we add Let's Flapper, effect of Invisible Atas, we tribute Armored Orn, which is important because you need this card in the graveyard, so you always need to tribute Armored Orn if he's still on the field. So, special summon Sting Lancer add landing. Now you do landing, fuse away Sting Lancer and Flapper for Cruel Saturnus. Cruel Saturnus triggers and add your counter. And now, effect of this is what I told you before. We need to have this card in the graveyard because right now we need to have a way to banish our Beetrooper monster, and by having Resonance Insect in the graveyard, you now are able to completely fulfill the condition of Light Flapper. You will see. So special summon back Armored Orn, chaining one Resonance Insect to dump, chaining two Armored Orn to special summon back Light Flapper. And we dump Scale Bomber. Effect of Light Flapper, we bring back Scale Bomber and Sting Lancer. Now we link away for Picofalina. Picofalina effect, we can dump the trap because we can reset the trap at the end. This card is so good because it can reset itself at the end of the combo. So now we fuse for Ultimate Get Insect, which is, even if you don't want to go into Hyperiton, this is still important because at this point, not only we have a search, but we have two additional bodies on the field, in the graveyard, so we can activate Picofalina and put back Cruel Saturnus. This is important because Beetrooper landing has an effect that during the turn that it's in the graveyard and it's not sent during the turn, you can banish two insect monster and add this card back to your hand. So virtually you can special summon Cruel Saturnus during the following turn. So now we draw one by putting back Gokipo. It's better putting back Gokipo so we have it for the next turn. So now we need to get rid of Invisible Atas because we need to get rid of the insect lock. So now we can activate finally Mantis Monk, banishing 2, and add the trap card, link away for Stag Sovereign, now banishing 3 for Bergram, effect of Resonance Insect to dump something. Why not? You just want to have more bodies on the graveyard, so you have follow-up. Now you exceed for Hyperiton. You activate Bloom and activate Hyperiton to add finally the spell negate. Now you set 2 during the end phase. You activate Flying Sting and reset it. So this board is virtually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 interruption by itself, plus your maxi that you search, which I don't count as an interruption, but I counted like maxi. Also, everything that you had before your hand, so these are just some extras. You are protected against spells. You have a pretty good way to negate monster effect. You have graveyard date, you have monster pop, you have cards pop with thanks to EVO's hunting death. So yeah, this is the full combo when you can open with everything and start with your complete combo. And in fact, I think my opponent will just see this board and decide to scoop. Yeah, this is what this deck wants to do. Not all the line will end on Hyperiton. Mostly your line will always only end on Stag Sovereign, which is still fine. Stag Sovereign is a good interruption by itself, and it's a link monster, so you can just tribute. You can activate Anti-Dance to pop something. It's good. I think this is just a pretty sticky end board, and you have a shit ton of follow up because let's say that your opponent breaks the board, but it's not able to kill you. You still have Sting Lancer, you still have Scale Bomber, you have all your Ragnaraka monster in your graveyard, you have Beargram that can come back and board wipe the field. You have a lot of follow-up going forward if they decide to just play and try to break your board. Which I want to show you because this actually happened with this. This was against Numeron. The opponent kind of screwed up at some point of the combo, but you will see. So I went first and I was able to just do my full combo. So we are going to see again the full combo. As you can see, this is a completely full combo. So now rotating C, special summon Scale Bomber, link away for armored armor one. Effect rotating C, add Resonance Insect. No, extra armor for Reso, link away for Mantis Monk. This is why it's important to have Mantis Monk as banished, because now we can banish Resonance Insect from the graveyard. So we are searching first. Let's Trapper from our deck. Now we banish 2 to add the trap. SNC triggers to dump Gokipo, and Gokipo triggers to add you get Mantis. It's important because we need to have more bodies in the graveyard, so this way we add 2 bodies count to the graveyard. Now we link away for Invisible Atlas. Invisible Atlas effect, we tribute to special summon Sting Lancer. Sting Lancer effect, add the fusion spell. We fuse away for Crusadurnus. Now, since we already have the counter in our hand, we can add something else. Usually you want to add an Assault Roller. It's just an extender, so if they have something, you can just keep extending. So now we banish 2 free to special summon Crusadurnus. Since we already had Skill Bomber, we can just banish Skill Bomber and Sting Lancer along with the Flapper to add them back later. Now we make Picofalina. Picofalina effect target Crusadurnus to set reading C that will trigger and add you max C. So every time this card goes from the field to the graveyard can triggers. This is absurd. So now we can just shuffle back and draw 1. We got another max C. It's okay. Now we put back Ultimate Gates Insect, so we have it in the for the follow-up on next turn. Link away for Stag Sovereign. And that's it. Fly Sting, banish to set back, and let's see what our opponent will do. Now we Maxine draw phase. Why not? We have 2 Maxine at our end. There's no reason for not doing it. This is what I say. By doing Raigeki, they actually turn off 2 of my interruption with just 1 card, which is not good at all, but okay. He's a Numeron. I thought I was dead at this point, but then I remember that all the Numeron monster needs to attack a monster to trigger, so I don't have anything. I'm pretty set. And I still have everything. So now let's go with the Ragnaraka part of the deck. Add Bloom and add Beetle and banish something. I decided to banish Pin because it's not needed anymore. We can special summon this. You decide to move for some reason. Okay. Link away for Skeletal Soldier, Ske- Beetle Effect to bring back Garmantis. I think I didn't have anything else, so that was the only thing that I could have special summon. Link away for Snapper, because I want to get rid of that back row. Now Stark Sovereign brings back, comes back. Sting Lancer, target Pick of Arena, target something on my opponent's graveyard. Special summon Skill Bomber. Activate the Bloom. I have two different types, so I can pop two cards. And go. See, this is what happens when your opponent decides to board break you. You still have a lot of follow-up. If my opponent decided to commit and play something, which it was not numero, maybe it was on something else, I could have just done something like, okay, so effect of Sting Lancer, put back something from your opponent graveyard, maybe you want to activate something and I put back something on mine, special summon cause at the same time skill bomber, so I have a monster pop, I have an Omni Negate at that point, I still have Ash and all the other cards in my hand, so this was still a pretty good board, even if I didn't end up on Hyperiton. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I'm having so much fun with the Beetrooper Ragnaraika. I think this deck is absolutely underrated, and I will probably start streaming again this deck in the next Duel Cup that is started today. So, if you enjoyed this deck profile, like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye!